weekend, all. Ira Epstein of Linn and Associates with your weekend edition of your metals market wrap-up. And this is for Friday, the 24th of January, 2020, about 4:45 in the afternoon. So what it was today? It is, first of all, what's this week? Safe Haven Week. I realize the importance of the Senate impeachment trial. The problem is the markets are looking at so much. They've not only got that going on, and the Republicans have yet to do their side of this. That'll start, I guess, tomorrow, Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Some events are going to happen. Remember, they just keep going on this trial now. But it's this, if you will, coronavirus. Is that the right word? Yeah, coronavirus. And the world is taken back on it. Today, you didn't hear anything from the World Health Organization, although we're up to 930 some odd cases, 26 people dead. France was discovered. They discovered 2 cases there. In Chicago, they found another case. There's 60 people in the U.S. Under scrutiny to see if they test positive. Here's the bad news. The bad news is, how do you contain 40 million people in the cities in China that they want to contain at the Lunar New Year? I don't think it can be done. So I think people are going to be traveling. I think as they travel, a certain amount of them might be ill. If they get taken care of by other people and they spread it, that could be the catalyst. The market is fearful, but the good news, there's bad news and there's good news. So far, the death part is limited in China. Not that I wish them any problem. I don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I meant is that if we look at the market and it's the spread of people going to other countries, so far, where it is spread into other countries, we haven't seen human-to-human passage within that country. If it can be contained in China, the world gets together, let's help them fight whatever it has to be done there if they need our help. But that's the good news. The bad news, it's got 40 million people under lockdown. Can you imagine that? I can't. It's the population of what? California, I think? It's crazy. How do you do that? So that's my point. You can't. And we're going to hear more as people break out. You know what I mean? The quarantine, they're breaking out. And we'll see what it does. So in the metals going into the weekend, there's a mentality at work. I can't protect myself if the CDC or WHO says something on Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday until Sunday night when the market's open. And by then, who knows what they said and how the reaction will be. So there was a certain amount today, I think, of money coming off the table in markets. I think, as it turns out, there was buying in the gold. There's certainly, out of left field, silver came alive. You can't tell me it's because industrial demand picked up. Look at the copper. You're at 268. This is a market that was in the 280s just recently. People are scared. Look at the energies. The reason they're down. What if you can't put people back to work in the Chinese factories? Now, we weren't fooled yesterday. We're not going to be fooled tomorrow. In terms of timing, this is the Lunar New Year, so a lot of people in factories probably had this week off anyways. The fear is that if the transportation hubs stay shut down as they are now in key Chinese industrial cities, how do people get from point A to point B? And then in the supply chain, that gets impacted. That's why, do I need that much oil right now? Gee, do I need that much iron ore? I don't have anybody to work with it. I'm just giving you the examples. So you had today, in fact, you had this week, the buying in the dollar. You have the buying in the metals today. The Japanese yen, a safe haven traditional hedge, picked up again. Bonds and notes. You realize you're under 1.7 in the notes. You're not far from the recent lows we've had. I think it was 1.44. We're in the 1.6s now. Here's the monthly chart. There's nothing bearish on this longer term chart. Higher lows, higher highs. You get to these upper numbers. Remember what I teach you. Market doesn't stay over a Bollinger Band that long. It can hit it, backs away, hits it, and momentum locked in. So the bigger picture is certainly friendly. When we come to a weekly area chart of just closes, come on, this is the highest close we've had. We're up $11.60 for the week. There's nothing on these charts going back into 2018 that's this high. 2018. Pretty interesting. When I go over here to the weekly chart, you haven't bust through the recent high. This was Missile Day. That was the day that we were fired upon in Iraq by Iran. And by the way, I'm hearing, I think it's 34 or 38 soldiers had some form of brain trauma due to the concussions from that. You know, at first, they're all okay. They have headaches. They don't have headaches. They're hurt. You can see what the market is doing right there. The swing line, higher lows, higher highs. What puts the market on pause? On the weekly chart, if you take out 1536.40, you break that pattern, you go into a pause. If you pause, what might you drop down to? Look at the 18-week average. That could be a support zone. So where's my resistance if that's support? The upper Bollinger Band. And folks, you just hit it again. I realize you got over it here, but you only stay over that number 5% of the time. Now I have another part of the story. Momentum pointing up. You can't protect or tell me that you know what's going to happen with this virus, right? So if we had a bad piece of news come out, bad being it is passing human to human outside of China, gold could take off. It's not passing. They don't think it can. Gold can go down. I don't want to be in that scenario. It's that simple. When I look at the gold-silver ratio, silver is not gaining on gold. It continues to be in this weekly corrective mode where it keeps climbing. Climbing means this is how many ounces of silver you need to get 1 ounce of gold. Yes, silver had a nice day today. It has not turned its trend up yet, though. It's got a lower low and a higher high. It seems to be caught in this quadrant of the 18-week average to the upper Bollinger Band. Momentum is still pointing up. Copper fell apart. How else do you say it? You got up to 288.60, and you know what I tell you. First time you hit a Bollinger Band, I think the market's got resistance. The combination, and I've said it over and over, of the 100-week average and the upper Bollinger Band is often a zone where something happens and turns the market back. Did I know it's this virus? Not in your wildest dream. Okay, what you don't want to take out is 275.95. That would break the pattern of higher lows, higher highs. But keep in mind, you've hit an upside target again. You hit it back here. You came down. Let's say that it found support at that 100-day average and then up. This week, you took everything out of the market. You went from 288.60 last week to 267.75. It's not a little break, it's 20 cents. It's a monster break, momentum down, but where did the market try to find its footing? We call it the line in the sand, the 18-week average. This market stepped out of its trend. It is looking just like the rest of us. What's going on with this virus? In the platinum market, you're bullish. You've got higher lows, higher highs. You've run into resistance at the upper Bollinger Band, but that's it. You're not in a downtrend. And in the palladium market, it's bye-bye, baby. This market was only up $78 for the week. Running. They keep telling me, I keep reading in the news, well, you know, they're going to be able to switch platinum for palladium. Okay. This is right now $2,300 an ounce. The platinum market is sitting at $1,000, so it's less, in other words, it's less than half the price. Wouldn't you think there's going to be a pickup? I guess there is. That's why the market could be coming up. Last, let me come here, not to the news, but the dollar index. What the market has done, and we'll come back here, I don't think you disagree. We had a downtrend. The market hit the lower Bollinger Band first, here, then here. Momentum still down. The question was, in between the 100-day and that band, is the market going to find its footing? Doesn't have to, but that's what I'm looking to see. The market climbed up last week. Okay. Now what it's giving me, last week, by the way, you still had lower highs, lower lows. Remember, I've already added what this week did. And you started climbing, and now you're back right there. Where did the market stop? Right in the neighborhood of that 18-week average. Why? It's waiting to see the news on this virus, and the market's going to react, I think, accordingly. That's the news behind me, and I keep waiting to read what it's going to do. I write about all this. I write a brief market letter. Now, let me tell you, it's meant so that you can read it in a minute or two. It gives you I write one first in the evening, so that my traders at night, once the grains are open, I publish it so that if I'm going to trade grains, whatever the market is that I think my clients should be trading, They've got it. They got the update. They got cattle on feed like it came out. They'll have that for Sunday night in their hands. Everything else. When you come to the metals, I'm writing about just what we're talking about. And I put everything I'm reading into a neat, short letter. And I'm showing you what's going on. Then it's got trade recommendations with it. So you get all that. How do you get it? Call my staff. You get access to the morning update as well. 866-973-2077, or go to our website, www.iraepstein.com, and you'll be able to sign up there. You're going to have access, if you haven't tried, my morning subscriber video. And everybody right now, whether you've had my research in the past, I'll let you see the Spider ETF video because I'm building an audience for it. So you're entitled to get onto that too. You can get that no matter what. Just go on our website, sign up. You can do that. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day.